My brother's old bicycle, I still remember it clearly, as if it were only yesterday, the summer afternoon, when the very first bicycle entered our lives. It was not a gleaming, brand-new machine like those displayed in the elegant shops of the big town a few miles away. It was an old contraption. Its paint peeling in patches, the handlebars loose, and the bell wheezing out a tune as off-key as an old man out of breath. Yet to the children in our family, it was nothing short of a treasure, a jewel sent from the vast world beyond, delivered straight into the modest walls of our humble home. That bicycle first belonged to my eldest brother, a 16-year-old boy, brimming with vitality and filled with simple but burning dreams. I can still recall the sparkle in his eyes as he wheeled it home, his face alight with a pride so rare I had hardly ever seen it before. In our poor household, where every penny had to be weighed and measured with care, the arrival of that bicycle was nothing less than a small miracle. That day, we little ones clustered around our brother, our hands reaching out to touch the cold iron frame, our eyes wide in wonder as though we were beholding some enchanted steed out of a fairy tale. My brother, with all the pride befitting the eldest, promised that one day each of us would have a turn upon that seat, to feel the wind threading through our hair and the long road unfurling before our eyes. And true enough, he kept his word. On many an afternoon, after the bicycle had served its duty, whether for school or for the odd jobs that helped lighten our household burden, he would let us take turns upon it. The older ones were granted a ride around the neighborhood, while the younger children were content simply to sit upon the back, clinging tightly to his sturdy frame, laughing as though nothing in the wide world could ever bring us sorrow. Now and then, as the rickety bicycle clattered along the red dirt road, little stones would fly up, leaving stinging scratches upon our knees, yet even those wounds were borne with pride. For they were not merely scrapes, but the emblems of a childhood poor in means, yet rich in joy. Then the years rolled onward. As my brother grew, responsibility called his name, and that bicycle, like a quiet heirloom, was passed down to me. I still recall the moment when my father laid his hand upon my shoulder, his gaze both stern and proud, as he said, "Now it is your turn." Ah, that feeling! It was as though I had been entrusted with a key to the grown-up world. I pedaled my way to school along the narrow paths, the chain rattling out a tune that seemed my constant companion. Each turn of the wheel etched itself into my memory, engraving a joy that would never fade. And then came my sister's turn, and afterward the youngest child's. So it went, that battered old bicycle journeying from one set of hands to another, from eldest to youngest, a silent witness to our sibling bond. Each of us in turn became its keeper, leaving behind some mark of our time with it. The seat patched by our father with a scrap of cloth, a pedal replaced with a block of sturdy wood, the handlebars bound tightly with strips of tape. Each repair did not lessen its worth, on the contrary. It transformed the bicycle into a living record of our entire family's childhood. I still remember one time when the chain broke right in the middle of the road. We children, with no tools but our small hands and our stubborn patience, sat under the blazing summer sun and carefully fitted the links back together, laughing all the while until at last the bicycle rattled once more along its way. To us, that was no trouble at all. Lit was an adventure, a memory too precious to be forgotten. And now, as I sit here recounting this tale, the familiar sounds still echo in my mind. The clatter of the iron chain, the shrill ring of the bell, and above all the pure laughter of children, carefree upon a dusty red road. That bicycle, which might have seemed to others a mere object, was to us a teacher. It taught us the lesson of sharing, that joy becomes sweeter when we know how to yield, how to delight together. It taught us the lesson of thrift, that true value does not lie in the shine of the new, but in cherishing and caring for what we already possess. In those days, none of us dared to dream of having a bicycle of our own. We learned how to use one together, how to treat it gently, and most of all, how to be grateful for even a single means of carrying us to school or to places far beyond the reach of our small and weary feet. Now, when I see my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, each with a brand new bicycle or, more often, not needing one at all, for there are modern conveniences aplenty, my heart grows heavy. I wonder, do they know the simple joy of waiting for their turn? Can they feel the bond that grows from sharing one thing, from yielding what one treasures most to another? Perhaps not. The world has changed more comfortable, more abundant. I believe this. So long as we tell these stories, so long as we remind them of the worth of sharing and the grace of thrift, that spirit will live, ain't as the old bicycle once did, even though long gone still, rattling joyfully through the roads of my memory. And so, my story closes there, with the old bicycle that long ago disappeared from the worn-out home of my youth. Yet you see, sometimes the things we deem small, ordinary, a battered bicycle, a crooked bell, a rusted frame, become the very threads that bind us to the past, to our families, and even to ourselves. I am an old man now, but whenever I hear the clatter of a chain striking metal, or catch sight of a child wobbling on their first ride down the street, something within me stirs. It is as though an unseen hand pulls me back to those dusty days of childhood, alive with laughter and sunlight. And I believe perhaps the lesson of that bicycle is the one I most wish to leave behind for the generations to come. That happiness does not dwell in abundance, but in how we share the little we possess. That joy need not always be bought, but may arise naturally from togetherness, from the care we take in cherishing what we have. So, if you, my dear old friends, or any soul listening, have ever held such a memory of an object passed hand to hand within your family, or of some humble keepsake carrying love within it, then share it with me. Let those comments below become a chest filled with memories where we may recall together, smile together, and see once more that childhood Ivan in its poverty remains a treasure beyond all price. And if you wish to sit with me again, to listen to fragments of recollection from half a century past, then press that subscribe button. For each week, I shall bring another tale, stories aged in time, but never old in the heart.